Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Yashodanandana Braja Jana Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Radha Madhava Jaya Radha Madhava Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivardhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Yashodanandana Yamuna Tira Yamuna Tira Jai Radha Madhava Radha Madhava Shiva Jaya Radha Madan Mohan Radha Madan Mohan Shira Jaya Radha Govinda Radha Govinda Shira Jaya Radha Gopinata Radha Gopinata Shira Jaya Radha Shama Sundara Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Krishna Balaram, Jaya Krishna Balaram, Jaya Gauranitai, 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 Jaya Gauranitai. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. Jai Jai Go Hari Bol, Nitai Gaura Hari Bol. Nitai Gaur Sitanath Premanande. Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Shrimati Gopal Krishna Prabhupada Namo Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prasthaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Om Jnana Timirandasya Ganangana Shalakaya Chakshuru Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manovistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamaya Dati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Padakamalang Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Serupam Sagrajatan Sahagana Raghunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Advadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Visakam Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Shindo Dinabando Jagatpate Gopesa Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Visabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. So before we read the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 7, The Science of God, Chapter 3, Hiranyakasipu's plan to become immortal. This is the new new chapter. So, first, we're going to read from Srila Prabhupada's Transcendental Diary, Travels with His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada by Hari Sori Prabhu. Srila Prabhupada, this is in Vrindavan. Srila Prabhupada was sitting back quietly listening as Guru Kripa elaborated on the problems in Hawaii. Then suddenly he indicated Harikesh Maharaj with an upward tip of his head and said, "He can go." It was completely unexpected. Surprise! I glanced at Harikesh, who looked a little stunned and unsure whether what he had just heard was a serious comment or not. But as Guru Kripa continued speaking about his problems in Hawaii, Prabhupada said it a second time, so he can go there. Then we realized he was serious. Prabhupada began to complain that he wanted a GBC man to do his secretarial work. Indicating Harikesh, he said, "He is writing letters without my knowledge or approval. Actually, no letter should go out unless it is sent by me." Guru Kripa also complained to Prabhupada that Harikesh has told Prabhupada that he has been missing for the last week or two. As he said that he has been traveling to places where we have no temple and was not missing, but simply out of contact. Prabhupada said that Harikas was acting independently. Therefore, he could not trust him to be his secretary anymore. He said that there are 3 GBCs present in India, so one of them should become his secretary. He told Harikesh, "Now you immediately go to Hawaii and take over as temple president there." Harikesh was dumbfounded. Obvious for the last few weeks that Srila Prabhupada has been concerned about his engagement. There has not been even the slightest hint that Prabhupada was thinking to change him. Harikesh looked flattened, glumly as well. What about the Eastern European program? "All right, you can go there if you want," Prabhupada calmly said. It appeared to me that Prabhupada was using the problems in Hawaii as an opportunity to re-engage Harikesh, and that the problem in Hawaii was not as important as the problem with Harikesh. Harikesh, somewhat resistive to embracing Prabhupada's sudden decision, presented various reasons why his work as secretary was apparently faulty. He went over the history of his previous service as temple president here in Vrindavan, and he offered various types of rationale for other objections raised. It seemed that he was trying to counter Prabhupada's complaints. For every point that Prabhupada raised, he had an excuse. This went on until finally Prabhupada stopped him and told him quite sternly, "It is not good to defend yourself so strongly in front of the spiritual master." So we stop there. And tomorrow we continue. It's amazing how Prabhupada would deal with his disciples. So expertly. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Seventh Canto, Chapter 3, Text 1. Shinarada Uvacha. Hiranyakasipu Rajan. Ajayam Ajaramaram. Atmanam Apratidbhadvam. Ekarajam Vyadash Sata. Sinarada Uvacha. Hiranyakasipu Rajan. Ajayam Ajaramaram. Atmanam Upratibandvam. Ekarajam Vyaditsata. What else?
Hiranyakasipu Rajan Ajayam Atmanam Apratibandvam Ekarajam Yadhisata Srinarada Uvacha Hiranyakasipu Rajan Ajayam Ajaramaram Atmanam Apratibandvam Ekarajam Yadhisata Srinarada Uvacha Hiranyakasipu Rajan Ajayam Ajaramaram Atmanam Apratibandvam Ekarajam Yadhisata
Srinarada Uvacha
Hiranyakasipu Rajan
Ajayam Ajaramaram
Atmanam
Atmanam Apratibandvam
Ekarajam
Yadhisata
Mataji?
Srinarada Uvacha Hiranyakasipu Rajan Ajayam Ajaramaram Atmanam Apratibandvam Ekarajam Yadhisata
Srinarada
Uvacha.
Hiranyakasipu Rajan Ajayam Ajaramaram Atmanam Apratibandvam Ekarajam Yadhisata.
Word for word meaning. Shri Narada Uvacha. Narad Muni said, Hiranyakasipu, the demoniac king Hiranyakasipu, Rajan, O King Yudhisthira, Ajayam, unconquerable by any enemy, Ajara, without old age or disease, Amaram, immortal, Atmanam, himself, apratidvadvam, without any rival or opponent, ikarajam, the one king of the universe, Vyaditsata, desired to become. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Narad Muni said to Maharaj Yudhisthira, the demoniac king Hiranyakashipu wanted to be unconquerable and free from old age and dwindling of the body. He wanted to gain all the yogic perfections like anima and lagima, to be deathless, and to be the only king of the entire universe, including Brahmaloka. Everybody please repeat. Narad Muni said to Maharaj Yudhisthira, the demoniac king Hiranyakashipu wanted to be unconquerable and free from old age and dwindling of the body. He wanted to gain all the yogic perfections like anima and lagima, to be deathless, to be the only king of the entire universe, including Brahmaloka. Purport. Such are the goals of the austerities performed by demons. Hiranyakashipu wanted to receive a benediction from Lord Brahma so that in the future he would be able to conquer Lord Brahma's abode. Similarly, another demon received a benediction from Lord Shiva, but later wanted to kill Lord Shiva through that same benediction. Thus, self-interested persons by demoniac austerity wanted to kill even their benedictors, whereas the Vaishnava wants to remain an ever-existing servant of the Lord and never to occupy the post of the Lord. Through Sayuja Mukti, which is generally demanded by asuras, one merges into the existence of the Lord. But although one sometimes thus achieves the goal of the theory of monism, one falls down again to struggle in material existence. Shinarada Uvacha Hiranyakashipu Rajan Ajayam Ajaramaram Atmanam Apratidvadvam Eka Rajam Yaditshata. Yes. So Narad Muni speaking to King Yudhisthira about this story of Hiranyakashipu, and in particular his son Prahlad Maharaj. Hiranyakashipu, originally one of the expansions of Jai and Vijay. They were cursed and they preferred to take birth as demons 3 times so that they can be immediately engaged in their service back to their position. And as being enemy number 1 of Lord Vishnu, Hiranyakashipu wanted to be an immortal personality. He wanted to be only the king of the universe, to take over even the post not just of King Indra, but that of Lord Brahma, without any rival, without any competition, without anyone to be in competition. Yes, to compete with him. It's like he wanted to be the top, on the top, number one, unconquerable, unconquerable, immortal, amaram, ajayam, ajara, without old age or disease, without any rival or opponent, apratidvanvam. He wants to be the all in all. Therefore, he wished to attain this by performing some tapasya. Because when one performs austerities, whether it is for tamasic gain or in the mode of ignorance, or one performs also tapasya like devotees. We also do fasting. It's like an ekadasis or festivals or chant more Hare Krishna Mahamantra. There is a result that we wish to attain to develop more love for Krishna. On the other hand, the asuras or the demons, when they perform tapasya, it is for their own self satisfaction. It is born out of their false ego. They want the goal to be achieved, which is sometimes, not sometimes, actually, it is not possible to attain. They rarely achieved, they have not achieved yet to be immortal. To be immortal, so that they want to become, be on the top of everything. They want to be the Lord of all they survey. Um, these are the goals. They want to rule the universe. They want to overcome the demigods. They want to be everything, even to usurp the throne of King Indra, the king of the demigods. So Hiranyakasipu is the best example in this one. He attempted it anyway, but we know the consequence. He was not able to do it. He may try, or he tried to cheat Lord Brahma when he performed this. How many years of austerities? 100 years. 100 years, celestial years of austerities in the Mandara mountain. He was standing on his toes, his arms upwards, and he was looking up in the sky with one leg, actually. He's standing on one leg. We tried to do that. Some yogis, they're doing it very expertly for a long time. One of the legs and near the knees, and then go up there. It's very difficult to balance. And he did it for 100 years. His body is completely eaten up by ants, earthworms, some other parasites, practically only bones. But because of his mystic power, he's not dying. On the other hand, he becomes stronger and stronger. The entire universe is starting to become disturbed, start to shake. There is a fire emanating from his head, and that fire scorches the whole, even up to the higher planetary systems. That the demigods, they all went to see Lord Brahma. Usually this is the case whenever there is some issue, some problems, the demigods will go and see Lord Brahma for some help because he's the only one. Even though King Indra is the king of the demigods, but they consider Lord Brahma even the topmost. Hmm, even the topmost. Even the demigods, they were all afraid of Hiranyakashipu. They all became servants of Hiranyakashipu, besides Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. They were all like running. They're all in fear just by the movement of his eyebrows. There's a little bit of movement. Everyone is like running on their toes. He tried to become immortal by undergoing severe austerities. Purport, Srila Prabhupada says, the eighth chapter of this seventh canto. It is considered to be one of the longest stories in the Srimad Bhagavatam. Practically the whole seventh canto is dedicated to Prahlad Maharaj and Lord Nrsimhadev, of course, Hiranyakashipu. He wanted to become immortal. Usually the asuras, they perform these austerities and they'll be given some boons or they'll be asked what to do. What do you want? Usually Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva, they gave the boons. But these boons not exactly coming from them. The benedictions coming from the demigods comes from Lord Vishnu. He is the source. So immortality is rarely granted here. Lord Brahma says, how can I do it? I myself is mortal. We can only give something if we have it. If we don't have it, then it's not possible to give. That's why Hiranyakashipu, he tried to trick Lord Brahma by trying to circumvent the boon that he wished to have, not to die either outside or inside, not to die either daylight or night, or by any weapons, man-made or animals, not to die either by air or by land. Yes, these are all ways how Hiranyakashipu would like to trick Lord Brahma so that he will be given this boon of ultimately ill result to be of immortality. But that's not the case. Usually there is envy involved when all these different asuras or demons, they want to perform austerities. Ultimately, they're envious of Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna. And this is their life mission to destroy the Supreme Lord or his devotees. Prabhupada says that in the purport, third canto, chapter 16, text 37, asuras like Hiranyakashipu or Ravana are always inimical to the Supreme Personality of Godhead and to his devotees. Yes. Devotees, our goal is we're always seeking service towards the Supreme Lord for the pleasure of the Supreme Lord. This is what we do. Unlike the asuras, they are always seeking or they're always wanting to have wealth, opulence, women, prestige, and heavenly pleasure. Yes, it says that the demigods, they're experiencing happiness in the heavenly planets, are also being disturbed from time to time. Therefore, their sense of pleasure is not the same as that of the asuras. The asuras, they also have pleasure. They seek pleasure as well. But because no one disturbs the asuras, they have longer, they have higher sense of pleasure. Mm-mm. So many personalities of different purpose. Ultimately, the asuras is meant to be satisfied by themselves. Ravana is one of them who performs sacrifices with his own heads to please Lord Shiva. He cut 9 heads, his 9 heads, to please Lord Shiva. Ravana, to please Lord Shiva. And then the last one, and the 10th one, no, Lord Shiva has to come to us. What do you want? Because it could be very risky, and the power of the asura who's performing austerities will be so great, it's very difficult to control. And who is that demon who is trying to ask for benediction, but then he wanted to use it for Lord Shiva to see if it's working? Banasura, yes, Banasura. He performed and worship Seva, worship of Lord Shiva. I mean, Seva is only for Krishna. Seva is for Krishna. That means service. When they offered something to the demigods, it is not with love and devotion. And they perform those austerities, which are very difficult for any ordinary man to follow, especially Hiranyakasipu. So their tapasya is not to purify one's heart. Their tapasya is more to fulfill their material ambitions. Hiranyakasipu. So all the stories like this in the Shrimad Bhagavatam tells us things that we should avoid. The do's and the don'ts also are there. So these are the don'ts. Yes. They undergo severe penances and austerities, but with the motive to become powerful and rivaling the Lord. So asuras often worship Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma and other demigods, but not out of devotion, but with the purpose that these different deities that they worship will give them material boon, grant them material boon. And there are, it says here, Asuric tapas or Tamasic tapas. 17th chapter 5-6 of Bhagavad Gita. Those who perform severe austerities not recommended in scriptures, out of pride and ego, torture the body and me within it are demons. So their tapasya is not sanctioned by the Shastra, and definitely it is not pleasing to Lord Krishna. Again, it is driven by pride, arrogance, anger, desire to be domination. Domination, that means overpowering, not bhakti or humility. is the opposite. Hmm. Prabhupada mentions in the purport, 17th chapter, text 5 of the Bhagavad Gita. Sometimes this is purport. Sometimes demoniac persons engage in severe austerities, like standing on one leg for years. But such austerity is not recommended. It is only make them proud and brings about their downfall. So that is the result. Ultimately, their power. Austerities means it's not like the austerities that devotees perform. For material benefit, there is a result, yes, but also it is used up. It is not everlasting. It's temporary result. Ultimately, it'll be the cause of their being destroyed by the Lord. Hiranyakasipu killed by Lord Nrsimhadev, Ravana by Lord Ram, and Kamsa by Krishna. This is. I was just reading in that class given by one of our senior devotee that in Markandeya Rishi, that the Lord kills these demons. Nrsimhadev, Hiranyakasipu, Lord Ram, Ravana, Kamsa by Krishna. Also Shishupal. And they all attain some kind of mukti, which is considered to be hellish for the devotees to attain moksha. That means kind of liberation, which is merging into the effulgence. Soyuja mukti. Everyone is also thinking of Krishna, but not in a favorable way. Kamsa is always thinking of Krishna, but more of as death personified. Whatever he's thinking is always thinking of Krishna, to kill Krishna. But Shishupal, he says that he has some attraction towards Lord Krishna, even though hatred is there, envy is there. How many times he has to criticize Lord Krishna, but some of the Acharya says that he's indirectly glorifying Lord Krishna. Like at that Rajasuya sacrifice of King Yudhishthira, when Shishupal, he was the last one to say he's not qualified to be the first person to be worshipped, because that is the process that the most important person will be first worshipped. But everyone says, no, it is Lord Krishna. Yes, it is Lord Krishna. He should be the one. He should be the one. And the last person who says, no, he cannot be. He cannot be, because we don't know what is his varna. We don't know. We don't know his position, whether he's a Vaishya. Is he a Vaishya or is he a Kshatriya? Because now he has 16,108 queens. So he does not have any position at all. We cannot ascertain, which is true. We cannot designate a role or position Lord Krishna performs. It's beyond. It's beyond Varna and Ashram. So he has some kind of attraction also towards Lord Krishna, in a sense. He's also thinking of Krishna, but then he did not achieve this sayuja, merging into the body of Lord Krishna. Ultimately, then he attained to a world. So the ego of the asuras increases more and more. Ah, and the more their ego increases, then the more they forget Lord Krishna, but at the same time, thinking of Krishna at the same time, not in a favorable way. Yes. So, yes, there are contrasts between the devotees and the asuras when it comes to performing austerities. The goal for devotees, pleasing Krishna, attain pure bhakti, liberation. Ultimately, not really liberation, because it says that liberation is knocking on the door of the devotees. The asuras, they want power, immortality, they want revenge and sense gratification. The mood for devotees, humility, surrender, service. For the demons, pride, envy, and domination. Devotees worship Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna, and demons, they worship Brahma, Lord Shiva, or none. Atheist. Yes. Bhakti Yoga is our method by following scriptural injunctions, especially in that of tapasya. On the other hand, the asuras, no, they perform severe, often unscriptural. And the result, devotees, their freedom from birth and death, no more repeated birth and death. The samsara is over, and ultimately they attain love of God. Unlike the demons, they're temporary power, and eventually they are destroyed. Yes. So there are many stories in the scriptures of these different asuras, their tendencies, why they perform tapasya, and ultimately we have to be careful ourselves. Um, in the sense that one may mistakenly also think that because I perform scriptural tapasya or tapasya based from the scripture, but then sometimes the result also can be seen that one started to have some power, and one may have an ambition, so he may perform extreme spiritual austerity, but with motivation for competition, and pride may creep in, pride may come in. So this is Kali Yuga tendencies, of course, very common, and we have to avoid this asuric tapasya. We have to chant offenselessly the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, perform simple austerities like following Ekadasis, again, festivals, attending Mangalartik, study of the scriptures. All of this not for material gain, but for purifying our heart. Give up false ego, envy, and pride, and serve Krishna and his devotees without selfish motives. From 17th chapter again, Bhagavad Gita, text 14, 15, and 16. Tapasya of the body, speech, and mind in the mode of goodness is done with faith and without expectation of return. So ultimately, our meditation is that we should perform austerities. Yes, this is the ornaments of the Brahmana. Yes. But to please the Lord, to please the Lord. The devotee performs austerity to please the Lord, unlike the asuras, to please himself. So this is very good that we're learning, we're hearing more and more about the Srimad Bhagavatam, especially the seventh canto. And we should be also, in a sense, a little bit of introspective. You can ask ourselves from time to time, am I increasing my devotion towards Lord Krishna, spiritual master? So let it be that everything or every time that we perform some activities, we should always offer it to Lord Krishna, to our spiritual master. Don't be in a controlling mode, or be in the center. Krishna is the center. Yes. We should be careful also not to suppress others' service or discourage the progress of devotees. We should be asking, am I nurturing the bhakti of others or am I suppressing their advancement? We should encourage advancement, others' advancement. We should be happy if others are making advancement. And don't fear that if others are making advancement more than me. We should be very happy. So ultimately, Prabhupada has taught us we have to learn how to be servant leader. Prabhupada says, better to do simple bhakti properly than imitate elevated practices with wrong motives. Hare Krishna. Focus on quality over quantity. Better 16 attentive rounds than 64 inattentive ones done with pride. Oh, yes. Sometimes devotees, when they perform austerities, they are boastful. They say, oh, I did Govardhan Parikrama twice. Or I did Dandavat Parikrama. Something like that. Usually when devotees perform austerities, they don't advertise. They don't say to everyone, hey, I did this, I've done that. No. Then pride comes in, then it destroys that austerity to develop more love for Krishna. Instead, one becomes self-centered. Yes. I will stop here. Is there any questions or comment? Haribo? Yes.
So you are talking a lot about the asuri qualities. How do we identify these asuri qualities in each of in ourselves in the first place, so that we can stop it before we make a mistake? So is like Namajapa or Sankirtan the only way that we can develop that ability to identify the weaknesses or asuri qualities in us? Or is there
Yes.
not really way to identify and cut them off in the bud before it becomes
Yes.
mainstream?
First of all, we have to learn, study Srila Prabhupada's books. Because in Srila Prabhupada's books, there are descriptions of a devotee, a non-devotee, demons, yes. And then in every actions that we do, we should also try to ascertain whether I'm doing this for my own benefit or is it for the pleasure of Lord Krishna and his devotees? Me not having anything, I'm not expecting anything in return from what I'm doing. Let Krishna reward me or not, it's up to him. But I'm just doing my duty, ultimately to serve, to please Guru and Krishna and the devotees. Uh, we can tell, just like we mentioned, am I being the center here? I don't want to be the center. I just want to be the servant of the servant of the servant. So, yeah, there are many qualities that we have to burn to the root because they are not supposed to be there. Lust, anger, greed, madness, illusion, envy. Our goal always is to be purifying our heart. Yeah. And if we're purified in our heart, then we're always happy also to be engaged and engage others. So when you do bhakti, you're more happy to engage others than you being engaged yourself. You don't want others to be pushed on the side. On the other hand, you want them to be pushed in the front. Give them all the encouragements to make advancement instead of you thinking of yourself. The qualities automatically manifest. Also, if we chant good rounds, that is number one. Improving and maintaining our rounds to be inoffensive. Yeah, then everything else will follow. You don't have to worry. You don't have to worry, what am I doing here? No, but you can feel also if you're doing wrong. That's Krishna consciousness. Non-devotees, they don't care. They're carefree, careless. They don't take anything they take everything for granted. No, but devotees are always very careful, especially in dealings with other devotees. It's very important. Am I treating them properly? There is a saying: "Do not do unto others what others you do not want them to do unto you." There's a saying like that, right? Yeah. You don't do unto others what they don't want for them to do it unto you. He's very careful all the time. Anything else? You? Yes.
I have a question: how to balance this attitude of being a lion on the chase and a lamb at home? When we have to go out and preach, we sometimes have to use a little pride or confidence to defend the philosophy.
Yeah, you must be bold. Prabhupada use the word bold when you are explaining the science of Krishna consciousness. You must be well versed, you must be, yes, you have to defend our Siddhanta. Mm-mm. And this is humility. You're being bold, but you are being humble at the same time. You're expressing to them the science of Krishna consciousness. So, yes, um, soft as a rose and be what? Huh? Hard as a thunderbolt. Yeah, devotees, they are like that. We cannot compromise our philosophy. Yes, just to please others. We don't flatter others just to make them feel good. We tell them what is what. Spade is a spade. Yeah. No. If you do it without any false ego, uh, then they will understand. They will accept. Ours is a proposal. My dear sir, you please take it. You take it, your life will be auspicious. But this is the fact. So the choice is yours. If you do it, you'll get benefited. And everyone else will be benefited who is in contact with you. That's how bhakti is. Mhm. So, yes, example though is better than precept, and action speaks louder than words. So, yes, one can be powerful without saying too much. Yes, and truth has to be told palatably, because usually truth hurts. It's painful. They don't want to hear these things. But we have to tell them, this is what the Shastra says, this is what the Guru says, this is what the Sadhu says. So we just do as it is. Yes. Kinchana Prabhu?
Maharaj, you're saying about when devotees increase their service, let's say more japa, or being stricter in certain respects, then the tendency is to become proud of that.
Yes.
So I wanted to ask if you could give any advice. How can we increase our service without that fault of becoming proud?
Well, the mood of Srila Prabhupada is that of a servant leader. We should not lose that vision or that application for our everyday activities towards our daily activities. Practical. I'm always a servant. Others, they perform. Some devotees, they perform austerities because they want position. They want to become a big guru. I'm sorry. That happens. They cannot handle. Then the result of their not able to cope up. But the devotee always meditation is that I'm a servant. You may be a leader by performing great austerities, but it is not for your own benefit ultimately. It should be always for the pleasure of Guru and Krishna. Everything that I do, because ultimately the result um, always goes to the spiritual master. Whoever will be um, glorified more is the spiritual master. So yes, we may perform great austerities, but then let's not lose the sight that I'm doing this for my spiritual master's pleasure and for Guru's pleasure. And I'm always be their servants. We're all servants. Um, so in this way, we'll be protected. We're not going to be forgetful of Krishna. That is the protection of Lord Krishna. When he says in the Sarva Dharman Parichaja, do not worry, I will protect you. The protection is to always remember Krishna. Favorable way. Even at the time of death, we're all still going to remember Krishna. Because everything is meant for him. So yes, one must be careful not to overdo it, and then one will become the center of everything. No, we're not the center of everything. We're the center. No, Krishna is the center. The spiritual master is the center. Always be mindful of that. Yeah? Yes? Anything else, Maharaj? Would like to say something? Nice to have your association here in Germany. It's very difficult in Vrindavan. It's quite busy there. But we have that chance while we travel to meet other devotees. Okay, I stop here now. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Nitai Gaur Shitala Premanande Hari Hari Bol. Hari Om Tat Sat. Hare Krishna. Some devotees watching.